and this time is 4:26 AM. नमस्कार, मैं इंजीनियर सूरज सिंह भारत इंडिया से बोल रहा हूँ। आज दिसंबर 26, 2021 सुबह के 4:27। सिग्नल्स डाउन और मैं आपके सामने विद टॉक ऑफ क्वालिटी। टाइटल इज सेम एज यूजुअल, Civil Field Engineering, Life, Engineers, Concrete Specifications, Quality, AnnexSL, Red, Silver and White Contract Forms, Standards, Safety, Health, Environment, of course, Designs and Construction, Methods and Contracts, Disputes, of course, Organizations, Communications, Coordinations. And to be very frank, this is my in an international agreement. Just for your information, which is valid up to 2025 September, and this is by virtue of corporate membership. By being a fellow, I am designated as Chartered Engineer India, and this is fellow certification, and also talking of quality in Bharat, India. Quality for me is a big concern of, you can say, it's not question of whether I'm interested or I'm not interested. That's not question here. There's something else. You cannot say that it's my preference. It's not a preference, it's in fact a requirement. And particularly when one is engineer, it is duty of engineer to be very serious about issue of quality. And of course, concrete, as we can say, concrete is life, and we should be very serious about that. And it's very, very serious issue. We may say without quality, no one can move. It's not possible to move without quality. Though we may say we are maintaining quality, but in fact, we do not maintain quality and just move on and on. And that's where I can say we have to be very serious about that issue. Why I always talk every day? It's not because I think it's my passion. It's my passion that I have to disseminate at least quality can never be compromised and should not be compromised. But it happens. Who bothers? My question is, who bothers? No one bothers. Why should someone bother? People think it moves on. It moves on and on and on. It's not my question for you or for someone else. Quality is very serious matter. It's not a matter in engineering itself. In fact, it's a matter of life. No quality means what is there then? अगर क्वालिटी नहीं है, गुणवत्ता नहीं है, तो क्या है? क्या हमें सोचना नहीं चाहिए? अभियंता हैं, इंजीनियर हैं, डॉक्टर हैं, दूसरे वर्ग के लोग हैं, हर देश में सब होते हैं। जीवन में क्या क्वालिटी महत्व नहीं रखती है? इज इट नॉट सिग्निफिकेंट इन आवर लाइफ टू हैव क्वालिटी, टू मेंटेन क्वालिटी? Why? If we do not think of quality, I have to raise question for myself, and everybody is required to raise question to itself. If one is educated, one is a professional, one is responsible. It should be a concern for everyone in this country as well as in all other countries. Because I am particularly talking of our country, Bharat, India, so there is a question for many countries. But what I understand and what I realize after having analysis done and having many observations on materials that we produce, products that we buy, or you can say in major portion of economy, that is construction, which is, you can say, major part of your life savings you spend. Quality in our country, though we call it, we are very big, or we can say we are widest knowledge society in world. We say that. We have stakes in that. We are knowledge society. Yes, okay, we have pride in saying that we are knowledge society. But what sort of knowledge we have? If we have knowledge, if we have millions and millions engineers, doctors, professors, and other professionals, then we should be leader number one in quality all over the world. Do we have that status? We should raise this question to ourselves. I'm not asking to raise it in presence of some others. We have to analyze ourselves. If people cannot analyze self, what can they analyze? If I don't know what I am, if I can't scrutinize my own character, my own work, self-realization, self-analysis, self-audit, self-edition, is it not important? I think it's number one in importance. If I am confident of my work, if I think I have done everything that I remember that time, or I had in mind, or I by profession am considered a specialist or expert, this means I should know about that. I believe in quantity, and everybody does, and quantity means efficiency. But can that efficiency go without quality content, quality induction? Can you call that a product which does not have quality that is required during performance of that product? I think we cannot take quality only as a term. Quality is something bigger than quantity, because it is quality that gives quantity. If we do quality work, maybe we feel good, we feel satisfied with the investment that we make on whatever material we produce or whatever product we produce, and that quality is very significant. So I have just added in this my quality file, which I call it quality file, भारत इंडिया में गुणवत्ता किधर है? भारत इंडिया में गुणवत्ता किधर है? आई एम जस्ट शोविंग यू हिंदी, बट आई एम स्पीकिंग. वेयर इज क्वालिटी? वेयर डज क्वालिटी एग्जिस्ट इन भारत इंडिया? मीन्स वेयर इज इट? वेयर इज एड्रेस ऑफ दिस क्वालिटी? इसका पता किधर है? गुणवत्ता कहाँ बैठती है? वेयर डज क्वालिटी सिट? वेयर इज इट्स ऑफिस, or where is its factory located? We can say that I am not able to find that. अभियंता वर्ग में कोई भी गंभीरता देखने को नहीं मिली कि गुणवत्ता को कैसे प्राप्त किया जाए, परंतु कारण मुझको पता नहीं। Among civil engineering community, I fail to find any degree of seriousness about how to achieve quality standards, how to define and achieve. But I am not sure where is that address located when I can find answer to this question. अभियंता वर्ग में कोई भी गंभीरता देखने को नहीं मिली। What is answer to this question? And that गंभीरता नहीं मिली, गुणवत्ता को कैसे प्राप्त किया जाए, इसका पता मुझे चाहिए। I did not find answer to this question, and it is very serious material for me, serious issue for me, and not only for me, but it is also important for you because it is your requirement as well. आपकी भी आवश्यकता है, सबकी आवश्यकता है। आपको यदि कोई चीज़ फ्री में मिल जाए गिफ्ट के रूप में, तो भी क्वालिटी तो उसमें भी होनी चाहिए। गिफ्ट का मतलब ये नहीं होता कि क्वालिटी ना हो इसमें। So it's a big question mark why engineering community is not serious about realization of quality requirement. बाजार में कोई भी पदार्थ गुणवत्ता द्वारा बनाया नहीं दिखाई देता। I don't find any product in market which looks like or which presents itself except package. Package is nice, except package, delivery package. I don't find any product, or you can say quality product. That's important point. गुणवत्ता प्रमाण पत्र असलियत पर निहित नहीं है, बस एक सामान्य सी प्रक्रिया बनकर रह गई है। गुणवत्ता या क्वालिटी सर्टिफिकेशन, गुणवत्ता प्रमाण पत्र असलियत नहीं होता, असलियत पर निर्मित नहीं है, बस एक सामान्य सी प्रक्रिया बनकर रह गए हैं। क्वालिटी सर्टिफिकेशन is delivered, is declared not on reality but on general procedure. I don't think not more than that. संस्थान सरकारी हो अथवा निजी, गुणवत्ता सब जगह है ही नहीं, तथा कोई प्रश्न करने वाला भी नहीं होता है। Whether or not it is government or private institution or organization, there exists no quality at all, and there is no one to question about why there is no quality. What is reason for that? No one is there, nobody exists, or nobody has got that courage to question. किसी को भी कोई चिंता नाम की चीज नहीं है, परंतु उत्तरदायित्व किसका होता है? किसी को भी कोई चिंता नाम की चीज नहीं है। नो वन हैज गॉट एनी कंसर्न, नो वन हैज गॉट एनी कंसर्न इन नेम ऑफ क्वालिटी, बट whose responsibility it is. This is a translation, but whose responsibility it is, or you can say who is accountable for quality, because I don't find people to be very serious for quality requirement. Abhyanta, answer is Abhyanta. Answer is Abhyanta because engineer is responsible. Abhyanta means engineer. Engineer is responsible. But where is engineer? क्या अभियंता जानता है कि गुणवत्ता किसे कहते हैं? जनता, क्या अभियंता जानता है, परंतु क्या अभियंता जानता है, जनता लिखा है, सॉरी, जानता है कि गुणवत्ता किसे कहते हैं? Does engineer know about what does quality mean? देश क्या गुणवत्ता बिना उन्नति कर पाएगा? देश क्या गुणवत्ता बिना उन्नति कर पाएगा? Shall Bharat India nation be able to achieve progress or move on path of progress without having quality integration? परंतु सभी स्वप्न में ही $5 ट्रिलियन का अर्थ पाना चाहते हैं. But everyone wants to achieve economical target of $5 trillion. Economical target of $5 trillion in dream. Everybody, from bottom to top, from lowest grader to prime minister level, are interested in achieving target of $5 trillion economy. But is it possible without economy, without character, without good quality? I think जो नाम मात्र की कल्पना है, it's only merely a, you can say, imagination to raise our economy to that level, because that economy minus quality, production minus quality is rubbish, is nothing, it's not even scrap. यदि गुणवत्ता नहीं है तो केवल सिविल अभियंत्री ही सदियों तक चलने वाले ढांचे बनाते हैं. इफ देयर इज नो क्वालिटी यू कैन नॉट गेट दैट इकोनॉमी. देयर आर रीजंस फॉर दैट. नाउ यू कैन कंपेयर. केवल सिविल अभियंत्रा ही सदियों तक चलने वाले ढांचे बनाती है. इट्स ओनली सिविल इंजीनियरिंग कम्युनिटी, इट इज सिविल इंजीनियर्स who produce only items that work for many decades or centuries. It is only civil engineering field, civil engineers who are involved in producing something or in producing products that work for decades and centuries. बाकी सभी का सामान कुछ वर्षों के वास्ते होता है. And products delivered by non-civil engineering professional communities like mechanical, electrical, and all others, computers, you can say whatever else, they produce something which work only for a couple of years. This is only difference in civil and other mechanical, electrical, etc. If you want to see a difference, you will find that यही एक अंतर है सिविल तथा दूसरे अभियांत्रिकी में. Civil engineers, I'm not saying that civil engineers are more powerful. It's not question of that. It's question of involvement, that civil engineers have to work much more than required, because their products, structures, houses, dams, facility plants, civil works, which have to work for coming decades, many decades, and just like as buildings, housing, etc. are transferred to generations to come. But if you buy television set or some computer, you have no plans that it should be there for 100 years, because non-civil engineering technologies change a lot. Always you find update every 3 days, 4 days, 1 week. But in civil engineering, update of knowledge is not that fast, but work is very hard. And therefore we say seriousness is very important. If you are not serious, I don't think we are right. इसलिए we say किसी को भी कोई चिंता नाम की चीज़ नहीं है जो होनी चाहिए. Everybody should have concern about why we have lost quality. First question is, why did we lose it after all? Or did we have that quality before? That is also a question mark. And if we did not have that quality, what was the reason for that? That's also another question. But it's not difficult. It's not, you can say, differential equation in mathematics, or it's not integral calculus we cannot understand, or it's not trigonometrical question. It's not very complicated equation. It's very simple. They have to understand before doing something what we are going to do. Are we having enough material for that? If we don't have enough material, then how can we do? How can we move forward? That should be our question. हमें इंजीनियर की हैसियत से वास्तव में यदि हम सिविल इंजीनियर हैं, सिविल अभियंता हैं, तो हमें ये सोचना होगा कि हम जो काम करने जा रहे हैं क्या वो काम करने लायक है, क्या उस काम करने के लिए हमारे पास सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन है, सब सूचनाएं हैं. डू वी हैव ऑल इन्फॉर्मेशन दैट वी वांट टू डू? Only then we can think of quality. We cannot think, if I'm starting something and I don't know full information about that, I don't know complete details of technical this, I don't know what application, what's that application, what's purpose of application, and what's is, you can say, specified status of that, means what's quality requirement of that, and I'm going to say, okay, fine, I do it. And just like we say, what's the grade of concrete, what's bring capacity in soil. These are technical details available for purpose of designs and purpose of work. And we have to confirm on site this really, the soil has that much bearing capacity. We have to test that soil on site. It's required. Sometimes it happens. If we don't find that level which we took in design, in that case we may have to change that. That's what we say. It's the controls of quality which applies in each and every item. And it's only civil engineering where I think there are hundreds of specifications. Each item has certain specifications, and we have to see every item, hundreds and hundreds of items in construction and everything, and we have to be very sure about that. And if you can't do that, we say, okay, let it go on. It's okay. Somebody has given us where to just do it. That's not possible. You don't forget, we construct high rises, we construct big buildings, we construct big water structures, and which can yield any time. It's not simply a power station, it's not simply a 2 or 3 story building, it's not simply a machine which requires some small foundation. Means every work we do in civil engineering is quite different. We have to realize this fact. You can produce hundreds of machines of same design. When it comes to structures, it's not that. Every structure is different. We have to realize this fact. Every structuralist knows this. Every civil engineer knows it. And in fact, everybody knows it. You can systemize other professional items. You can systemize electrical engineering items. You can systemize mechanical engineering items. But as far as civil engineering is concerned, every project is new, every detail is new, and you may say that operational research in civil engineering is at highest level, because every design is a part of research. You have to think not only whole design, we have to think every part of that design, every member of that design framework, and then we have to take decisions on every beam and column, every thin slab, or you can say whatever we do, we have to consider from each and every aspect of design, and then we have to keep in mind whether or not this design shall be constructible. It should not cause any problem in construction. And that's what we say. Quality of design, quality of thinking, quality of everything, production are very important. And when you think of other civil engineering items which are also very important, and that's what I can say. And when you go to the world of concrete, it's quite different. I'm not jumping onto that, but quality criteria is very different in our life and should be different. We cannot leave it to itself. When we study in college, in university, well, I think we are kept off quality. And we are kept off quality because maybe at that time, students cannot understand what is quality. Students mix up, and time is very short. Possibly 4 or 5 years in education of engineering is nothing. To an extent, civil engineering is concerned such a wide field, which involves from toilet to palaces, all facilities. It involves drains, sewer line, water line. It involves buildings, involves network of irrigation, dams or water resources, and you can say even power stations, nuclear power stations, airports. I think there's something maybe we do not know, but every work that involves primarily other disciplines, other branches of engineering, but basically it has to start with foundations, and foundations means civil construction and civil designs. So you can say civil engineering, the name itself is civil because of it applies to everybody. Even if you work in army or you work wherever, some way or other, civil engineering comes into your life. You cannot get rid of basics of engineering, and I think and I believe that civil engineering is for everybody. For everybody. Even if there are no facilities available in the world, civil engineering still plays its role. Even if you design your hutment, your adobe house, you have to use civil engineering technology, or even if there exists no technology, and that is common sense technology we have to think of. कहना तो नहीं चाहिए, लेकिन कहना आवश्यक हो जाता है कि हमें अपनी लाइफ को बनाने के लिए सिविल इंजीनियरिंग का प्राइमरी उपयोग करना होता है, और बाकी इंजीनियरिंग साथ साथ चलती हैं, और सिविल इंजीनियरिंग में उनके साथ चलती है जो बाकी प्रोजेक्ट होते हैं, उसके बिना वो भी नहीं चल सकते, ये हम सब जानते हैं। इतना जानने के बाद भी अगर हम सो जाएं फिर क्या होगा? हम सो जाते हैं, ये हमारी कमी है? क्या है, क्यों है, कैसे है? इसका उत्तर भी हमें ढूंढना है, हर इंजीनियर को ढूंढना है। बेचारे नागरिक का क्या है, वो कुछ नहीं समझता, जो देखता है वो सही मानता है। लेकिन अगर सिविल इंजीनियर, यदि सिविल अभियंता भी नहीं सोचेंगे तो कौन सोचेगा? ठीक है, आपकी सैलरी कम होगी, माना, आपको वैल्यू भी कम होगी, माना, लेकिन आपको अपनी सैलरी से ज़्यादा, अपनी वैल्यू से ज़्यादा उस चीज़ के बारे में सोचना है, उस पदार्थ के बारे में, उस कच्चे माल के बारे में, उस प्रकृति द्वारा दिया गया मटेरियल के बारे में कि ये मटेरियल आपका नहीं है, ये मटेरियल प्राकृतिक है, इस मटेरियल को बनने में कितना समय लगा होगा, आप तो इसका काम कर रहे हैं, इसको लेके आप अपने स्ट्रक्चर में लगा रहे हैं। इतनी सी बात समझनी चाहिए कि आपका कोई भी उसमें कंट्रीब्यूशन नहीं है। प्राकृतिक कंट्रीब्यूशन को आप खराब नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन आप करते हैं। आप ध्यान नहीं देते, लेकिन देना चाहिए। सोचिए, प्राकृतिक कंट्रीब्यूशन मानव का भी है। मानव का बनना अपने आप में एक प्राकृतिक है। बर्थ और जनरेशन ऑफ ए बेबी इज ऑल्सो नेचुरल। यू थिंक ऑफ देयर इज समवन टू लुक आफ्टर दैट, and that power is unknown. There is some power we do not know, so we call it superpower, or we call it natural power, or God, or whatever we call it. Without that input, which we don't know what input is that, how does it happen? Baby is born, baby is constructed, it's manufactured. How does it happen? We do not know, but it happens. Now think of otherwise. You think in other direction, as you think of quality, you don't care for quality. Same way, if God doesn't care for that process of generation of kid or baby, what shall happen? Think of. If God doesn't think of quality issues of that body, small baby, what shall happen to humanity? It's a question, because God also cares for everything. God cares for stability of earth, stability of universe, stability of solar system, and that thinks of quality itself. God indirectly teaches us that this is what I do, you also follow this, and I shall be happy. I shall be happy with you, my children, if you do better. Than what can I do? Because every parent thinks that my kid should do better, they should do much better than what I've done in my life. I don't say God can't do that. God allows you, God permits you an opportunity to become an engineer or a doctor. And these two professions are extremely top level, because health sector is number one. You can say if health is good, life is good. If health is good, you can live happily. And if you are supported in your life by engineering, that's also God given, I can say, because material is God given, body is God given, and also we understand this proper sense, we say engineering properly. We have to think that way. God does not give power to everybody. God has given you power to study and to become an engineer or doctor. This is your good fortune. Of course, you did study and you work also on this, but is that enough? You don't care for that when you work and you say I am working. Rather than using your knowledge for good, you start selling that knowledge, and that's where we fall. Remember, sale is required because you have to live, money is required because you have to do everything, but you cannot say it at cost of, it's cost of construction, bad construction you do it, cannot say that. And that's why quality I am getting into this. It's not normal quality. I'm talking of principle of quality. I'm talking of quality principle. And principle means it's not question if the quality of honest person, sincere person, if you don't do they are not. I'm not talking that. I'm talking of requirement. If my body is quality one, I can say I'm healthy. If one part of my body doesn't work properly, how do we feel? How does one feel? You know it very well. Everybody is experienced. Everybody knows what is sickness. And don't you think that if you don't produce material with quality, that material also is a patient. Maybe it cannot tell you, but it is. So you don't care for your material means you are going to not to help yourself. Your material is a kid. Every material you produce is your kid. Every material, just like you say, I have written a book. Okay, you are an author. And this is your brainchild. Right? We say, no, it's a brainchild, it's my brainchild. I took so many years to produce this. And now it's my book, I'm author, and you have a pride, degree of pride in that. But same book is great size, or you can see people find, yeah, you don't feel happy, but we have to correct it. Same thing I can say, maybe you forgot something that's required to be written or included that from L. That's what quality work it is. It's a peer have to review it, or people have to review it. Okay, they have to review it, right? What I say, in first place, quality must be respected, it must be understood, or you can say it must be well known or well considered. It must be well defined. And if it is well defined, it can move with you very well. And here is a point we have to be very serious about. And that's the only reason I always, every day stress about quality, so that at least people should open their eyes, and particularly engineering community should open its eyes. I cannot say about common citizen, though everybody knows quality is required. They cannot differentiate between what is required and what is not required. It's general practice, general convention that people what they see think it's right. What they see by eyes or what they feel, they know only to that extent. And behind that, it's not their fault to know, but they do not know. Sometimes they don't know even what's happening. If you do some wrong act every day, people consider this right act. This happens. If you show something, though it's bad quality, they won't realize, but they say, okay, it's going on every day. It goes on in every site, so it is all right, it's fine. But you know it's not that fine. There's a problem in that, but it's not fault of that person who does it. It's fault of ourselves. We are responsible for that bad work. And my intention is that I always stress on conducting analysis, which is basics in engineering. No engineering can move forward, no engineering can exist if it does not have analytical power. Concrete is that material which is, we can say, structure of civil engineering. I am saying structure of civil engineering because in every discipline of civil engineering, we will find structures. It may be small structures or it may be very mega structures like building structure. It can be a drain, rainwater drain. It can be a compound wall. It can be brickwork walls, blockwork walls, or it can be mud mortar, it can be cement mortar. There is some structure in it. There is some electronism in that. You can say, I'm not talking about electronics, but there are some. Everything has something. So we have to understand what is that. We may say, oh, this is only a drain. Why are you so much worried about that? Oh, it's only a manhole. Why are you so serious about this? Why are you so serious about this is a wrong answer. Every work is important. Even a piece of brick is important. A piece of stone chips or aggregate is important. Contents of water is important. Everything is important. You spend your money. You are spending natural materials. You cannot take it for granted. You cannot leave aside. It's very difficult to extract material from ores. We extract iron ore, box. What is that ore? I don't actually remember. We extract iron, we extract aluminum, we extract many materials. It's not easy process. It's very difficult process to extract. We cannot take these materials for granted. Same way, stone is very expensive if you take it from a natural point of view. We take stones from rocks, and you know how many years rock takes to shape itself, to change its properties, and we get those rock pieces for our inclusion in buildings or in a structure. Maybe we don't realize this, but fact remains. If there is no nature, there is no natural material we get, we don't get any material, then can we do something? We cannot do something. If there is no sun, exists no sun, if there exists no water, if there exists no air, can we develop? Can we do civil engineering? Never. We have to think from where do we come or what we come, from where our body comes from, how this body was generated. If you just think a little in reverse direction, we shall find immense field. Immense field. If you think the solar system is a part of engineering, we will know what is engineering, what is equilibrium, what is orbital movement, how does it work, what is earth. These are all civil engineering basics we have to understand. I only little know. I know very little. I know very little about this. I don't know anything very in depth because I did not in depth study. I know very little about. But even little you can realize, reference you can use. It's your reference. If I say it's my reference, I refer to the solar system and try to understand how does engineering work. Because there is no book you can get information from. God is God. God made you for God, not for you. I come back to concrete because you say he is running into other direction. I don't run into other direction. I run to concrete, and that's inspection. Here you can see inspection and testing of hardened concrete. We talked of, you can say, about this details. Concrete course we talked of, and talked of about minimum depth of sampling of concrete, how to take course, how to drill course, and also we talked of testing of strength and assessment of strength. We talked of reinforcement cover measurements, how to take that and how to detail it out. Then ultrasonic pulse measures we're talking of this, selection of test locations, and we talked about this, you can say, estimate site cube strength, and radiography of concrete, surface hardness. I don't know whether we reached there or not. I am not sure about that. I think where it was chemical content. Let us see which page it was. I don't exactly remember. Should not find that. What's this? Protective treatment of concrete. Here it is. I didn't talk of that, I'm sure. Protective treatment of concrete. Well, we did not go this right. Let us see. I forgotten actually where was last talk stopped. I forgot that one. So should I go back to see where it was? I will just waste time. Reinforcement cover measurements. Just a minute, give me a minute so I can open the file and see what it was. I don't have a card, but see how can we find that. It should not be that difficult. In fact, let's open to try. Don't just wait because I'm opening last URL about my video, and let me say what I did. whether it works or not. Let me find where it is. Let's pass video. Let me see how does it work. Just a moment, please. Just a moment. I'm trying to find where it is. I'm closing that file. And let me see where it was. No, I'm not able to find that. I don't think I'm able to find that. Let me see where it is. I was just trying to open that video to see which page it was, but I'm not able to find it. My god, this page opened unnecessarily. This page opened. I don't know what's that. Sorry. I should close that one. This is not causing, I am not able to find that, no problem. I'll go back to study that one. So we said drill course, we did drills course. We talked of course and we drilled it. And here I can say sometimes it's too difficult really. We can't help what happens. We can't help in that. Let us see how does that work. No, that we are not. I think it was
Radiography of concrete.
radiography of concrete.
Gamma rays and high energy X-rays.
Estimated in
Gamma
situ
rays
strength.
and high energy
Radiography
X-rays,
of concrete.
which illustrate by
So two
radiography.
methods. Radiography of concrete. Let's go there.
Energy X-rays, which illustrate.
Alright, so I'll go there and see. Ultrasonic pulse measurement. Really, I start page number 136. I'm able to find that now. So estimated in situ cube strength we are talking of. Estimated in situ cube strength, and this is page number 136 of that specification. It says a correlation shall be established between cube crushing strength of particular mix used in structure and pulse velocity. A correlation shall be established between cube is crushing strength of a particular mix used in structure and pulse velocity. Where it's not possible to obtain cubes, we can say where it's not possible to obtain cubes with same mix design as original structure, a combination of coring and ultrasonic pulse velocity testing may be carried out at direction of engineer. Where cores are used to provide correlation information required for interpretation of ultrasonic pulse velocity tests. Now, radiography of concrete, gamma rays and high energy X-rays, which illustrate by radiographs concrete defects, concrete defects. Testing shall be carried out in accordance with requirements of BS 1881 205 or equivalent. Now, surface hardness. Testing of concrete surfaces for hardness using rebound hammers shall be carried out in accordance with BSEN 12504-2. Rebound hammer shall only be used for estimation of concrete strength, where a specific correlation is carried out of concrete from structure being tested. This shall be from work test cubes or cores taken from structure. Correlation between concrete strength and rebound hammer or rebound number. Correlation between concrete strength and rebound number shall be carried out in accordance with BSEN 12504-2. Precision of correlation. Precision of correlation curve between mean rebound number and strength shall be stated, and this be used when reporting whatever strength interpretations from surface hardness readings. Use of general manufacturer's correlation or calibration curve for strength shall not be used. Let us say again, correlation between concrete strength and rebound number shall be carried out in accordance with BSEN 12504-2. Precision of correlation curve between mean rebound number and strength shall be stated, and this should be used when reporting strength interpretations from surface hardness readings. Use of general manufacturer's correlations or calibration curve for strength shall not work in that case. It should be noted that rebound hammer number only provides information on a surface layer of approximate 30 mm in depth. 30 mm, only 3 cm in depth of concrete, and that this should be quoted in test report. Again I say, it should be noted that rebound hammer number only provides information on surface layer of approximately 30 mm in depth of concrete, and that this should be quoted in test report. Rebound hammer may be used to establish uniformity of finished products or similar elements in a structure at constant age, temperature, maturity and moisture condition. Now what's method of test? Method of test says a minimum 12 readings should be taken to establish a single surface hardness at a particular location. Reading shall be on a regular grid between 20 mm to 50 mm spacing. Reading shall be on a regular grid between 20 mm to 50 mm spacing over an area not exceeding 300 mm by 300 mm. Very small square, you can say 300 mm by 300 mm, or you can say approximately 1 foot by 1 foot. In that we have to take grid reading between 20 mm to 50 mm. Mean of each set of readings shall be calculated, including abnormally high and abnormally low results, unless there is good reason to doubt validity of a particular reading. Coefficient of variation and standard deviation of reading shall be reported. In that case, you can say equipment. What is equipment required for this? Rebound hammer shall be proprietary type that has been used successfully and serviced for a minimum 5 years. Hammer shall comprise of a mass propelled by a spring. A mass propelled by a spring that strikes a plunger in contact with surface. Hammer shall comprise a mass propelled by a spring that strikes a plunger in contact with surface. Manufacturers' literature shall identify impact energy and contact area of plunger for hammer. Test report shall affirm that hardness was determined in accordance with BSEN 125042 and provide following information. And what is that information? See, test report shall affirm that hardness was determined in accordance with BSEN 125042 and provide following information: date, time and place of test. Hammer test I'm talking, date, time and place of test, description of structure and location of test, details of concrete, type of cement, cement content, type of aggregate, type of curing, type of concrete, type of compaction of concrete, forming of surface, moisture condition of surface, carbonation state of surface, suspected movement of concrete under test, direction of test, or whatever other factors that are considered significant in influencing hardness reading. What is requirement is, this report should contain date, time and place of test. This is very much, primary information, what time it is, what date it is, what place it is. What is structure? Which description you have to give, small description of structure, its location in vertical direction or horizontal direction, and details of concrete, grade, etc. Cement, what cement we used, or cement content, how many kilogram, what type of aggregate, limestone or igneous, limestone or gabbro, or you can say whatever else. Curing, what sort of curing was done, and what's age on this test day, and then what was method used for compaction of that concrete, and forming of surface, moisture condition of surface, moisture content you may say, then carbonation state of surface, and a suspected movement under test is but that's I don't think that's very much important, but direction of test and whatever other factors that we consider significant in influencing hardness readings. Details of rebound hammer correlation with strength including mean, range, standard deviation and coefficient, and variation of each reading shall also be included. Good information, of course, this is, and we have to see rebound hammer test. If you go and see how does it look, you can find that, rebound hammer, let us say, and let us how this work is possible. If you see, you can see, sometimes we have to be a little patient in understanding what we will do. As some information is available, we can say it says, so what is, I like to show you this. In fact, it's very important one from many point of view, is sometimes important. I have to consider that. I was trying to show you how does it work. Because the specifications we are reading, but we should refer something also in reality. If we can say we can find something reasonably good, workable, I'm not getting its print easily. Let me trying. You got to print off this information, but I think it's taking time. Well, if it takes so much time, I'll close it because it's no use. I'll just read what it says. So loading preview is taking time, so I better I close it. No use. It's not coming up. Leave it then. And I think it's maybe it's a big one. It says what is rebound hammer that I did for you. This is from constructor.org. This concrete rebound hammer test. It's kind of from all. It says a rebound hammer test is a non-destructive testing method of concrete which provides a convenient and rapid indication of compressive strength of concrete. Rebound hammer is also called skimmed hammer, SCHMIDT, skimmed it hammer, skimmed hammer. It consists of a spring control mass that slides on a plunger within a tubular housing. It's you can say spring control mass that slides on a plunger with a tubular housing. Operation of rebound hammer is shown, which when plunger of rebound hammer is pressed against the surface of concrete, a spring control mass with a constant energy is made to hit concrete surface to rebound back. Extent of rebound, which is a measure of surface hardness, is measured on graduated scale. This measure value of designated in round number, and you can say principle are there from hammer test method is based on principle that rebound of an elastic mass depends on hardness of concrete surface against which mass strikes. Operation of rebound hammer: when plunger of rebound hammer is pressed against concrete surface, spring control mass in hammer rebounds. Amount of rebound of mass depends on hardness of concrete surface. Thus, hardness of concrete and rebound hammer reading can be correlated with compressive strength of concrete. Rebound values read off along a graduated scale length is designated as rebound number of rebound index. Compressive strength can be read directly from graph provided on body of hammer. Procedure for rebound hammer test. Procedure for rebound hammer test on concrete structure starts with calibration of rebound hammer. For this, rebound hammer is tested against test anvil made of steel having Brenner hardness number of about 5000 Newton per meter square. After rebound hammer is tested for accuracy on test anvil, rebound hammer is held at right angles to surface of concrete structure for taking readings. Tests thus can be conducted horizontally on vertical surfaces and vertically upwards or downwards on horizontal surfaces. If rebound hammer is held at intermediate angle, rebound hammer will be different for same concrete. So this is information I tried to you can say. There's a list also impact energy for rebound hammer in different applications. For normal weight concrete, approximate impact energy for rebound hammer is Newton meter 2.25. Likewise, same table is given. And what point you have to remember in rebound hammer test: concrete surface should be smooth, clean and dry. Loose particles should be rubbed off from concrete surface with a grinding wheel or stone before hammer testing. Rebound hammer test should not be conducted on rough surfaces as a result of incomplete compaction, loss of grout, spalled or tooled concrete surface. Point of impact of bound rebound hammer on concrete surface should be at least 20 mm away from edge or sharp discontinuity. 6 readings of rebound number is taken at each point of testing, and an average of value of readings is taken as rebound index for corresponding point. So this is what is there. So I'll go back to specifications. If you are reading, just for information, I try to provide this information. We can see this list again: reporting, what to report, date, time and place of test, description of structure and location of test, details of concrete, type of content, cement content, type of aggregate, type of curing, type of concrete, type of compaction of concrete, foaming of surface, moisture conditions, carbonation state of surface, suspected movement of concrete under test, direction of test, factors that are considered significant in influencing hardness readings, Details of a Mount hammer correlation and strength, including mean, range, standard deviation, and coefficient of variation of each reading shall also be included. Now we come to chemical content. Chemical content. Engineers shall instruct depth increments over which dust samples are to be taken. Depth increments over which dust samples are to be taken, type of chemical testing to be carried out, and quantity of sample required. Depth of sample should not be less than concrete cover. To reinforcement, and at least 50 mm from surface of concrete. In presence of reinforcement, chemical content shall be tested at least 2 levels before and after depth of reinforcement from surface of concrete. To provide uniform samples of cement, matrix, and aggregate, 3 separate holes should be drilled at one location. To provide uniform sample of cement, matrix, and aggregate, 3 separate holes shall be drilled at one location. Diameter of hole shall be between 12 and 20 mm. 12 and 20 mm. Half inch to 3/4 inch. Diameter of holes shall be between 1.2 cm and 2 cm. Care shall be taken to discard material from whatever render or finish unless this is specifically required under investigation. Care shall be taken to ensure that dust increments are accurately measured by marking drill bits. Dust samples increments shall be carefully transferred to plastic bags. Dust samples increments shall be carefully transferred to plastic bags and sealed to avoid contamination. Each sealed bag shall be uniquely identified by sample identification and depth increment. Laboratory testing. Residual split samples of dust from field investigation shall be retained until engineer has reviewed chloride test results. Engineer may instruct that repeat tests are carried out on certain samples. Chloride testing of concrete dust samples shall be by an acid soluble method in accordance with BS 1881, Part 1 to 4. Results shall be reported to 2 decimal places. Sulfate testing of concrete dust samples shall be in accordance with BS 1881, Part 1 to 4, using an acid soluble method. Now we are going to protective treatment of concrete. Protective treatment for concrete. In this we have general, and that is scope, references, submittals, quality, assurance or requirement, pre-installation and coordination, delivery, storage and handling, protection, general requirements for all treatments, final inspection, epoxy coating, general, surface preparation, materials applications, waterproof membrane, general, materials, waterproof membrane application, penetrative primer, general, material, surface preparation application, protective coating, general, surface preparation, material application, plastic sheet liner for concrete structures, general, shop drawings and submittals, liner material requirements, plastic sheet liner step properties, basic sheet dimensions, liner details, installation, testing requirements, special requirements, joints in lining for in situ concrete structures, testing and repairing damaged surfaces, protective treatment for concrete general. Now, this part covers materials and application requirements. Materials and application requirements for coatings. Coatings, I'm saying treatment, that is, call it coating also. Coatings for concrete surfaces, including epoxy coatings, waterproof membranes, penetrative primers, protective coatings, and coatings and treatments for specialist applications where there is a harsh environment. So here we have what are there? Epoxy coating, that is also number one. Epoxy coating, waterproof membrane, primer that can penetrate into concrete, protective coatings also, and coatings and treatments for specialist applications where there is a harsh environment existence. And this is in general section that relates to it because it is protection. We have references, and these are, you can say, test methods for vulcanized rubbers. Test method for vulcanized rubbers and thermoplastic elastomers tension, and you can say method for resistance of plastics to chemical reagents, method for water absorption of plastics, method for water absorption of plastics, method for tensile properties of plastics, method for brittleness temperature of plastics, brittleness temperature of plastics and elastomers by impact, methods for tensile properties of thin plastic sheeting, method for pressure sensitive adhesive coated tapes used for electrical and electronic appliances. That is test method for pressure sensitive adhesive coated tapes used for electrical and electronic applications. Method for initial tear resistance of plastic film and sheeting. Test method for pull-off strength of coatings using portable adhesion testers. Test methods for water vapor transmission of materials. Test methods for water vapor retarders used in contact with earth, under concrete slabs, on walls or as ground cover. Testing fresh concrete, and that is then protection of reinforced concrete by surface treatments. Then quality organization management and quality requirement assurance standards, quality systems, model for quality requirement in design, development, production, installation and servicing. These are references only. Numbers are there, you can read yourself. I am not wasting time in that. It's already there, just announcement of contents was important. So there are so many here. Submittals. Contractor shall submit manufacturer's specifications. Contractor shall submit manufacturer's specifications, installation instructions and other data to show compliance with requirements of this part of specification and contract documents. Contractor shall submit samples of all materials to be used in works before delivery of materials to site. That's very general. We cannot deliver any material. It's not approved or sample is not well tested. So without approval, you should not get metal to site. That is requirement, very common requirement everywhere in every specification, free item. This is, principal requirement. Samples of membrane waterproofing shall be 300 mm square. Membrane waterproofing, that is sample you submit, that should be 300 by 300. And samples of liquid components shall be a minimum of 1 liter So you have to submit a sample of liquid membrane about 1 liter, and if it's already done, this 300 by 300 mm square. Contractor shall submit comprehensive test results for protective coating system as system per test in specification, which clearly indicates whether values are mean values measures in current production or minimum values which property does not fall below. Contractor shall submit comprehensive test results for protective coating system per specification test, which shall clearly indicate whether values are mean one measured in current production of minimum values or which are property does not fall below these values. Contractor shall clearly state chemical composition of material and process by which protection is given to concrete. Chemical composition of material and process by which protection is given to concrete. In addition to test methods, identified in this clause of specification, engineer may require contractors to carry out further tests to different standards. If contractor wishes to propose a material which has been tested to alternative standards, contractor shall submit correlation tests showing comparable values of two test methods. These test results shall be comprehensive, giving full details of sample conditions, including preparation, method of test, criteria for assessment. If contractor wishes to propose a material which has been tested to alternative standards, contractor shall submit correlation tests showing comparable values of two test methods. These test results shall be comprehensive, giving full details of sample, conditioning, preparation, method of test, criteria for assessment. Contractor shall submit comprehensive information of previous applications of that material in similar conditions and environments. This information must include project name, type, grade of material used, quantity of material used, name of client, name of consultant, name of contractor. If requested by engineer, contractor shall supply contact details of client, consultant or contractor where material was previously installed. Contractor shall submit a guarantee for protective coating system and workmanship. Guarantee shall be worded to reflect required performance of material and be approved by engineers. Guarantee shall be worded to include phrase contractor shall, at convenience of employer, effect all repairs and replacements necessary to remedy defects, all to complete satisfaction of engineer. This is what phrasing is. That contractor shall, at convenience of employer, effect all repairs and replacements necessary to remedy defects, all to complete satisfaction of engineer. Unless stated otherwise in contract specific documentation, performance guarantee shall be for a period of 10 years, except for penetrative primer, which shall be for a period of 5 years. So this guarantee limit is 10 years for membrane. Again I say, contractor shall, at convenience of employer, effect all repairs and replacements necessary to remedy defects, all to complete satisfaction of engineer, unless stated otherwise in contract specific documentation. Performance guarantee shall be for a period of 10 years, except for penetrative primer, which be for a period of 5 years. Use of alternative may be considered by engineer if contractor wishes to propose such system. A technical submission shall be made which includes a comprehensive justification giving an explanation of why proposed system is equivalent or superior to one designated. Use of alternatives may be considered by engineer if contractor wishes to propose alternative systems. A technical submission shall be made which must include a comprehensive justification giving an explanation of why proposed system is equivalent or superior to one designated. Quality requirement or assurance. Protective coating system shall be supplied by a manufacturer who is certified to ISO 9000 series of quality standards. Contractor shall submit to engineer a copy of ISO 9000 series certificate that clearly states scope of certification. Protective coating system shall be supplied by manufacturer who provides technical assistance on suitability for application and installation for material. For initial use of material on site, contractor shall arrange for a technical representative of manufacturer to be present to demonstrate correct use of material. Repeat. Protective coating system shall be supplied by a manufacturer who provides technical assistance on suitability for application and installation of material. Installation for material. For initial use of material at site, contractor shall arrange for technical representative to site for manufacturer, shall arrange for technical representative of manufacturer to be present to demonstrate correct use of material. Means site demonstration is required. Protective coating system. Protective coating system shall be applied by contractor or subcontractor who is certified to ISO 9000 series of quality standards. Contractor shall submit to engineer a copy of ISO 9000 certificate that clearly states scope of certification. Again I say, ISO 9000 certificate is not done by us body, it is done by third party, but is given compliance to ISO 9000. So here is what it says: copy of ISO 9000 certificate, series of standards is included. Engineer may permit use of an applicator. Engineer may permit use of an applicator who is not certified so, but if applicator works to quality system that's approved by engineer, it's okay. Works shall be executed by an approved specialist subcontractor having a minimum 5 years successful experience in installation of specified material Only tradespersons experienced with installation of materials specified shall be used. No other tradesperson shall be allowed. Only those allowed who know how this work is done. Pre-installation and coordination. If approval of all materials and before installation, a pre-work conference with engineer shall be held at site. Meeting shall be attended by representative of engineer, contractor, subcontractor and manufacturer. Parties shall, these parties shall review drawings, specifications and approved materials. They will review all these drawings, specifications and approved materials. Correct conflicts. If there is any conflict, if there is some conflict, correct conflict, if it exists between approvals and specification requirements. Examine site conditions, including inspection of substrate, material labels and methods of storing materials. Examine site conditions, including inspection of substrate, materials labels and methods of storing materials. Review installation procedures and scheduling. Review protection methods for finished work from other trades. Before applying coating system to permanent works, contractor shall carry out a small trial of coating system for review and approval of engineer. So what are these have to do with these parties who are present here? What shall we do? Again in nutshell you can say, read drawings, review drawings, specifications and approvals. If there is some conflict, resolve it. Conflict may be between approvals and specifications or it may be somewhere else also. Go to site and examine how does it work. And you have to go to foundation excavation and see how does it work. Is it compatible? Or you can say inspection of substrate, materials labels and methods of storing materials. How to store material. Then installation procedures and scheduling. Methods you can say how to work on this item. Installation procedure, because material is always available, already available. Protection methods for finished work from other trades. And before applying the system, coating system, to permanent works, contractor shall carry out a small trial of coating system for review and approval of engineer. Delivery, storage and handling. Delivery, storage and handling. Delivery, storage and handling. Material shall be delivered in original, tightly sealed containers or unopened packages, all clearly labeled with manufacturer's name, brand name and number or batch number of material, where appropriate, materials and equipment shall be stored as directed in a neat and safe manner. Storage areas shall comply with manufacturer's requirement. Storage areas shall comply with manufacturer's requirements. Storage areas shall comply with manufacturer's requirements with regard to shade, ventilation and temperatures limits, and be located away from all sources of excess heat, sparks or open flame. Containers of liquid material shall not be left open at any time in storage area. Safety issue. These are again storage areas shall comply with manufacturer's requirements or manufacturer's instructions. With regard to shade, ventilation and temperature limits, and located away from all sources of excess heat, sparks or open flame. Containers of liquid material shall not be left open at any time in storage areas. Materials not conforming to these requirements shall be rejected by engineer and removed from site, and after that replaced with approved material. Container shall deliver materials to site in ample time to avoid delay in job progress, and at such times as to permit proper coordination of various parts. Protection. Contractor shall protect all these installation from damage during construction period, so that it shall be without any indication of abuse, defects or damage at time of completion. Contractor shall protect building structure from damage resulting from spillage, dripping and dropping of materials. Contractor shall protect building structure from damage resulting from spillage, dripping and dropping of materials. Contractor shall prevent all materials from running into and clogging drains. Materials and plants shall not be stored on any newly constructed floor without permission of engineer. Materials and plants shall not be stored on any newly constructed floor without permission of engineer. Impervious membranes shall be laid. Impervious membranes shall be laid as protection to all concrete surfaces in contact with soil. Impervious membranes shall be laid as protection to all concrete surfaces in contact with soil, and consist of tanking or similar accepted material based on soil investigation report. All foundations shall be provided with protection such as epoxy coatings or similar other accepted equivalents, so that concrete is not exposed to harmful effects of soil, chlorides, etc. General requirements for all treatments. Protective treatments shall be applied where designated in contract specification documents. Protective treatment shall be applied where designated in contract specific documentation. Protective coating systems to be used shall be applied strictly in accordance with manufacturer's recommendations. Contractor shall take all necessary precautions against fire and other hazards during delivery, storage, and installation of flammable materials specified herein and comply with any regulations imposed by Civil Defense Department of Ministry of Interior in respect of storage and use of hazardous materials required under this section. Important point. Contractors shall take all necessary precautions against fire and other hazards during delivery, storage, and installation of flammable materials specified herein and comply with any regulations imposed by Civil Defense Department of Ministry of Interior in respect of storage and use of hazardous metals required under this section. Engineer shall specify required final color in coating, and contractor shall submit samples showing color before ordering material. Final inspection. Upon completion of installation, an inspection shall be made by a representative of material manufacturer in order to ascertain that system has been properly installed. Epoxy coating. Epoxy coating. Coating shall be a decorative, flexible, high solids. Decorative, flexible, high solids. Epoxy polyurethane. Epoxy polyurethane coating applied in two coats to dry film thickness of 200 micrometer minimum. This is general. Coating shall be in decorative flashing, decorative flexible high solids, epoxy polyurethane coating applied in two coats to a dry film thickness of 200 micrometer. Surface preparation. Surface of concrete shall be free from oil. Surface of concrete shall be free from oil, grease, loose particles, decayed matter, moss or algae growth, and general curing compounds. All surface contamination and surface latents shall be removed by high pressure water jetting or sweep blasting. Sweep blasting or water jetting. Surface of concrete shall be free from oil, loose particles, decayed matter, moss or algae, and growth and general curing compounds. All surface contamination and surface latents shall be removed by high pressure water jetting or sweep blasting. Blowholes and areas of substantial pitting. Blowholes and areas of substantial pitting shall then be filled with solvent-free thixotropic epoxy resin fairing coat. Blowholes and areas of substantial pitting shall then be filled with solvent-free with a solvent-free thixotropic epoxy resin fairing coat. Mixing and application of this coat shall be in accordance with product manufacturer's recommendations. Blowholes and areas of substantial pitting. Pit means shall then be filled with solvent-free thixotropic epoxy resin fairing coat. Mixing and application of this coat shall be done in accordance with manufacturer's recommendations. Where surface cracking is apparent. Where surface cracking is apparent, these cracks shall be chased by an approved mechanical means to depth of crack. A thixotropic epoxy resin shall be applied. A thixotropic epoxy resin shall be applied using a trowel, scraper or filling knife, ensuring that full compaction is achieved into chased section and providing a flush finish with concrete surface. Minimum period of 24 hours shall be allowed before applying any subsequent protective coating system. Materials. External above ground coating materials shall provide protection against chlorides and carbonation. Protection against chlorides and carbonation, and be a UV and abrasion resistant. UV stands for ultraviolet. UV and abrasion resistant. Above ground coating shall be applied over below ground coating and continue for a minimum of 150 mm above ground level. Epoxy coating shall be ultraviolet stable. Finishing coating shall be pinhole free. And have a total minimum dry film thickness of 200 micrometer. into 10 to power minus 6. 210 to power minus 6, you can say 200 10 to power minus 6, so 10 to power minus 4 actually this is. we can say materials used in coating system shall comply with following requirements. List of materials used. It's very important list. It's very important one. That is, it is solid content, service temperature, tensile strength, resistance against crack, adhesion to concrete, compressive strength, tensile elongation, water absorption, abrasion resistance, compressive strength, thermal coefficient of expansion. Solid contents greater than 85%. Greater than 85%. Service temperature minus 20 degrees Celsius to 70 degrees Celsius. Minus 70 degrees to plus 70 degrees Celsius. It can tolerate that temperature, Not exactly boiling one, but in between boiling and no boiling. Tensile strength, that is DIN 53504, 4 MPa. 4 MPa. Tensile strength. Resistance against crack. Resistance against crack. DIN 53515, 6 MPa. 6 MPa. Adhesion to concrete. Adhesion to concrete, that is ASTM D 4541, greater than 3.5 MPa. Compressive strength ASTM D 695, and this is 90 MPa. Heat resistance, 90 MPa. That is compressive strength. Tensile elongation. Tensile elongation ASTM D 638, 6 to 8% nitrogen. That is tensile elongation, 6 to 8% neat result. Water absorption mil D24613 nil. Abrasion resistance. Abrasion resistant ASTM C501, 50 milligram. Abrasion resistance 50 milligram. Compressive strength ASTM C579, 97 MPa at 7 days. 97 MPa. Thermal coefficient of expansion ASTM C531, 46 into 10 to power 8 mm per mm per degree Celsius. Thermal coefficient of expansion 10 to power 46.8 into 10 to power 8 mm per degrees. So we have gone through this material statistics, testing statistics. So we have gone through solids, solid contents, surface temperature, resistant tensile strength, resistance against crack, adhesion to concrete, compressive strength, tensile elongation, water absorption, abrasion resistance, compressive strength, thermal coefficient of expansion, solid content more than 85%, surface temperature minus 20 degrees Celsius to 70 degrees Celsius, tensile strength is 4 MPa, resistance against crack is 6 MPa, adhesion to concrete is greater than 3.5 MPa, compressive strength is 90 MPa, nitrogen tensile elongation is 6 to 8%, nitrogen water absorption nil, no water absorption, abrasion resistance is 50 milligram, compressive strength is 97 MPa, and thermal coefficient of expansion 46.8 into 10 to power 8 mm per mm. Application. Application. Where required by engineers. Trial areas not exposed in finished work shall first be treated using selected materials. Trial areas not exposed in finished work shall first be treated using selected material. Exposed concrete surfaces as defined in documents or agreed with engineer shall be treated with material coating shall be applied by spray. Coating shall be applied by spray, roller or brush to achieve a finish acceptable to engineer. In all operations of storage, mixing and application, contractor is to comply with health and safety recommendations of manufacturer and governing authorities. Waterproof membrane. Subpart covers use of waterproof membrane for general protection to buried concrete. Where indicated on drawings or directed by engineer, concrete in contact with ground shall be protected by a performed flexible self-adhesive bituminous type membrane. Where indicated on drawings or directed by engineer, concrete in contact with ground shall be protected by a preformed flexible self-adhesive bituminous type membrane. Laying, lapping and sealing of membrane shall be done in accordance with manufacturer's instruction. Laying, lapping and sealing of membrane shall be conducted or carried out in accordance with manufacturer's instruction. Materials. Material shall be material shall be an externally applied waterproof membrane, which should be an impervious, cold applied, flexible, laminated sheet consisting of multi-layer high density cross laminated polythene polyethylene film with a backing of self-adhesive rubber bituminous compound protected with silicone coated release paper. Says material shall be an externally applied waterproof membrane, impervious one, cold applied, flexible laminated sheet consisting of multi-layer high density cross laminated multi-layer high density cross laminated polyethylene film with a backing of self-adhesive rubber bitumen compound protected with silicone coated release paper. Primer for sheath membrane as recommended by manufacturer of sheet membrane. Protection board provide a minimum 6 mm thick asphalt protection board manufactured from selected aggregates, bound in modified bitumen encased between two layers of strengthened asphalt paper. Bituminous material shall be a minimum of 1 mm thick and membrane shall be capable of bridging crack widths in substrata up to 0.6 mm wide. Waterproof membrane. Material shall be suitable for use in Gulf region. I'm talking of Gulf region, you can check your way where you are located. It's only reference file. Material shall be suitable for use in Gulf region and compound shall be specially formulated for hot climate and shall have proven experience in Middle East. Material shall be suitable for use in Gulf region, that is GCC, which has many countries in GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council, and this you can say is Muscat or Oman, Bahrain, Saudi Arab, UAE, Doha, Qatar, etc., etc. I think 6 or 7 maybe. So we can say materials shall be suitable for use in Gulf countries. Compound shall be specially formulated for hot climates and have proven experience in Middle East. Middle East goes up to Libya, Lebanon, or you can say Israel, likewise many other countries which lies between Gulf and Gulf and towards whole western areas. Egypt also included in Egypt, or you can say Mauritania, what you call it, Morocco. Well, I'm not there to tell just a reference. I refer to these countries only from point of view of Middle East and GCC, which says that material shall be suitable for use in Gulf region. Compound shall be specially formulated for hot climates and have proven experience in Middle East. Waterproofing material shall conform to standards. That's depicted here. What are those standards? That's more pointed. Waterproofing membrane standards. There are few here, that is property requirements. Elongation, film, test resistance, tear resistance, adhesion to primed concrete, elongation compound, puncture resistance, water resistance, environmental resistance, moisture vapor transmission rate, minimum thickness. Just a few minutes, I'll be back. Meanwhile, you can read this information and we'll explain in a couple of minutes, please. So besides, sorry, this is elongation film talking about. Says that elongation film is STM D638, longitudinal 210%. Elongation is longitudinally 210% and transverse 160%. It's quite good. And you can expand 210% in lengthwise and in transverse wise 160%. Tear resistance is STMD 111004. Longitudinal is 340 MPa and transverse is 310 MPa. We are talking of waterproof membrane property requirements. So elongation 210, 160%. Tear resistance 340 MPa, 310 MPa. One direction, other direction it is. Adhesion to prime concrete ASTMD 1000. Adhesion to prime concrete 1.8 MPa. Means it is elongation compound ASTMD 1000 1.8 MPa. So elongation compound and adhesion to prime concrete are both same. Puncture resistance STM E154 is puncture resistance. This is 220 Newton over 65 mm. Water resistance STM D570, and this is after 24 hours 0.14%, after 35 days 0.95%. Water resistance. Environmental resistance ASTM D543 not given. Moisture vapor transmission rate ASTM E96, that is 0.3 gram per meter square 24 hours. Only 0.3 gram, 30% of gram per square meter 24 hours. It's negligible. Water resistance is 0.14%. I don't know what's that, water resistance. Likewise, we can say minimum thickness 1 mm. Minimum thickness is 1 mm. So we'll see this later on. Now we'll move first. Waterproofing membranes placed on vertical concrete faces shall be protected by preformed asphalt board. Waterproofing membranes that are going to be placed on vertical concrete faces shall be required to be protected by preformed asphalt board because of so many reasons. And that is both shall be bonded into position. Board shall be bonded onto position with high quality solvent borne contact adhesive board based on polychloroprene rubber. Board shall be bonded onto position with high quality solvent borne contact adhesive based on polychloroprene rubber. This board we are talking. Protection board it is. You see, it is that asphalt board, preformed asphalt board. This board shall be bonded onto position with high quality solvent borne contact adhesive board based on polychloroprene rubber. Both shall be bonded onto position with high quality solvent borne contact adhesive based on polychloroprene rubber. Contractor shall coordinate installation of waterproofing membrane with floor drains, equipment, bases and other adjacent work and mask adjacent work to prevent soil marks. Since a contractor shall coordinate installation of waterproofing membrane with floor drain, equipment bases, floor drains, equipment bases and other adjacent work and mask adjacent work to prevent soil mark. Areas where waterproofing is applied shall be protected from all traffic and where necessary backfilling. All damage to finished portions of waterproofing membrane shall be either repaired or replaced or both in a manner acceptable to engineer. Penetrative primer, as we said before, penetrative primers. Penetrative primer. System shall be penetrating. System shall be a penetrating hydrophobic treatment that protects concrete from both water and chloride intrusion. System shall be a penetrating hydrophobic treatment that protects concrete from both water and chloride intrusion while permitting water vapor transmission. This treatment shall be a penetrating hydrophobic treatment that protects concrete from both water and chloride intrusion while permitting water vapor transmission. Treatment shall significantly reduce absorption of water and water-borne salts but allow transmission of water vapor from substrate. Treatment shall not produce any discoloration of substrata and have excellent resistance to weathering. Material shall be a low viscosity. Material shall be a low viscosity, silane, siloxane, siloxane. Material shall be low viscosity, silane, siloxane system. Silane, siloxane system which penetrates deeply into a porous substrata and reacts to produce a bonded hydrophobic lining to pores. Material shall be a low viscosity, silane, siloxane system which penetrates deeply into porous substrate and reacts to produce a bonded hydrophobic lining to pores. Material shall be resistant to petrol, oil, and atmospheric contaminants such as car exhaust fumes and industrial exhausts. Surface preparation. Surface preparation. Surface shall be dry, free from oil and grease, loose particles, decayed matter, algae growth, and curing compounds. Surface shall be dry, free from oil and grease, loose particles, decayed matter, algae growth, and curing compounds. If concrete surface is newly cast and has a very smooth finish, surface shall be roughened by sand or grit blasting, water blasting, or some mechanical means. Engineer shall decide if this means of preparation is required. Moss or algae growth on surface shall be removed using a proprietary fungicidal wash in accordance with manufacturer's recommendations. Concrete finishing required shall be completed before application of treatment. Crack of width greater than 0.2 mm shall be filled in accordance with manufacturer's recommendations. I repeat, surface shall be dry, free from oil and grease, loose particles, decayed matter, algae, growth, and curing compounds. If concrete surface is newly cast and has very smooth finish, surface shall be roughened by sand or grid blasting. Water blasting or some mechanical means. Engineers shall decide if this means of preparation is required. Moss or algae growth on surface shall be removed using a proprietary fungicidal wash in accordance with manufacturer's recommendations. Concrete finishing required shall be completed before application of treatment. Cracks of width greater than 0.2 mm shall be filled in accordance with manufacturer's recommendations. Application. Unless directed otherwise by engineer, treatment shall be applied a minimum period of 24 hours after wet curing period and shall be surface dry. Surface must be dry. Surface must be dry. Contractor shall carry out test to verify depth of penetration of material. Contractor shall carry out tests to verify depth of penetration of material. These tests shall be carried out on specimens of actual mix design and use colored dyes to trace penetration of material. Contractor shall carry out tests to verify depth of penetration of material carried out in specimens of actual mix design and use colored dyes to trace penetration of material. Where cracking has occurred in concrete at a width not greater than 0.3 mm for reinforced concrete and 0.24 mm for water retaining structures. Water, where cracking has occurred in concrete at width not greater than 0.3 mm for reinforced concrete and 0.2 mm for water retaining structures. Additional 4 strip coats. Additional 4 strip coats of treatment shall be applied before main treatment stripe coat. Application of material on surfaces shall be done by a low pressure spray direct from can. Under no circumstances should thinning of material be carried out. Application of material on surfaces shall be conducted by a low pressure spray direct from can. Under no circumstances should thinning of material be carried out. Rate of application shall ensure that surface is completely saturated. Impregnated coating shall be applied to 2 or more floor coats. Shall be minimum of 0.4 liter per meter square. Material shall be applied strictly in accordance with manufacturer's instructions and as follows. Material shall be applied by a fine nozzle spray Material shall be applied by a fine nozzle spray. Application will not be permitted when ambient air temperature is above 35 degrees Celsius or in windy conditions. Surface shall be cleaned. Surface can be cleaned by stiff brush or compressed air to remove all loose deposits. Concrete to be treated shall be surface dry for a minimum period of 24 hours before impregnation. Membranes, joint sealers, and cast in concrete ancillaries shall be masked off before treatment. Application shall be made by saturation flooding. Interval between application shall be at least 6 hours. Treated areas shall be protected from seawater and rain for 6 hours after treatment. Let's repeat how to apply. Material shall be applied by a fine nozzle spray. Application shall not be permitted when ambient temperature goes above 35 degrees Celsius or it is windy condition. Surface shall be cleared by stiff brush. Surface shall be cleaned by stiff brush or compressed air to remove all loose deposits. Concrete to be treated shall be surface dry for a minimum period of 24 hours before impregnation. Membranes, joint sealers, and cast in concrete ancillaries shall be masked off before treatment. Application shall be made by saturation flooding. Interval between application shall be at least 6 hours. Treated areas shall be protected from seawater and rain for 6 hours after treatment. Protective coating. So we have gone through certain very important, very significant technical literature of concrete protection, and it's continuing, it's not finished. My purpose was to bring to you certain details about how value of concrete, how to protect it, and I think it has been successful attempt. Now it's almost, I think next time I will take up it further, and we have gone through how many pages? I can say it's page 147 of this specification of 205 pages, and that is protective coating we continue with. And then we have, you can say, plastic sheet liner for concrete, etc., and many more details. We have this continuation next time. Hope we'll continue. Don't forget this protective coating, and that's important one. I think we should now close it. We close it. Already 2.5 hours. We can say we can start. We can close it.